Good evening. Thank you for watching. Quiet, isn't it? Yes. After 4 years of gunfire, of heroism, of the brave struggle for freedom, we now have what we were all fighting for. Peace. Cheers. And how was your war? Tough. Mine too, but you know, I was lucky. Privileged even. Because I, Nicholas Beaufort Thomas, together with my colleagues at Steam News, got to bring the war into your living room. Whether it be that country house in Wiltshire or that tumble-down back-to-back terrace in Tower Hamlets. Yes, since August the 4th, 1914, our 24-hour continuous news station has delivered unrivaled, fair and balanced coverage of our nation's unflinching effort to preserve freedom in the face of that modern-day barbarian, the Hun. So unrivaled, in fact, that we've just been awarded the Victoria Cross for broadcasting by His Majesty the King. Now, to celebrate that most cherished of accolades, please sit back and enjoy these highlights of our award-winning war coverage. God save the King. Never shall be slaves.
1914.
Good morning, England and His Majesty's Principalities. You're watching Britannia's Team News, brought to you by Brown and Paulson's Flavoured Corn Flour. And yes, it's war. I'm Nicholas Beaufort Thomas.
And I'm Victoria Smythe.
Steam News, 24 hours a day. Fair, balanced and fearless.
Our top war stories this hour.
For fuck's sake. Can we really rely on the French army?
Austria half-breed nation Austria-Hungary gets into bed with the Kaiser.
And Kraut of order. Germans planning sneak attack through Belgium.
But first, an in-depth look at the cause of this great war. Joining us on the line from Sarajevo to help us answer this and other pivotal questions is our Balkan correspondent, Douglas Widet Douglas. Doug, give us your expert opinion on the political situation down there.
It's gone absolutely bonkers, Victoria. Yes, it's been fizz-popping to the point of goose-grease, with pan-Yugoslav nationalist terrorists, some of them Mohammedans, causing a rumpus on the streets of Sarajevo.
Sounds beastly.
Indeed, Victoria, absolute hell. Finding a quiet restaurant within walking distance of the hotel is about as easy as finding a dry share in Arabia.
Before we leave you, Douglas, can you tell us what this will mean for the region?
Well, quite simply this. Bosnia is allied to Serbia, which is allied to Russia, which is allied to France, which is allied to Belgium, which is of course allied to Britain. But Bosnia is underneath the administrative control of Austria, which is allied to Hungary, both of which are allied to Germany, so it will possibly get a little complicated down there.
Sounds like that Bosnia is a bit of a charge.
Indeed, sir.
Anyway, someone's going to get a good anointing.
Here's hoping it's the Germans, eh, Dougie?
Actually, I'm German. I'm
Oh, thank you, Douglas! Here's a card.
A regular code.
So, previously, on the Great War, Austria declared war on Serbia, Russia declared war on Germany, Germany declared war on France and Belgium, and finally, on Great Britain.
Didn't we declare war on them?
Nicholas, you're such a pedant.
Perhaps we should take the time to remember this moment. August 1914. Britain is at war. But chin up, eh, Victoria? It'll be over by Christmas.
Speaking of Christmas.
It's Christmas 1914. You're watching Britannia's Team News, bringing your war to life. And Christmas in England could only mean one thing, eh, Victoria?
Yes, indeed, Nicholas. We've got a packed programme of football fixtures out there in no man's land on the Western Front. So here's something for all you chaps.
Shouldn't you be in uniform?
No, seriously, chaps. Here's a full roundup of all your Christmas truce festive football, and Hermione is at Eton.
Yes, here it's the London Rifle Brigade versus the 12th Brandenburg Grenadiers. Now, this was always going to be pretty tasty. Even more so since one of our boys was sent off for dissent by the Hungarian referee. It's all very ugly out there, and as I speak, there's another Malay in the centre of the field, a shove there from the German centre forward, our boy almost going back into his own trench. Oh, now the German skipper's got a gun out, and he's fired it, and our man's down. Disgraceful. These are not the sort of scenes we want to see on a Western Front battlefield.
Quite, Hermione. Well, at least it won't go to penalties, eh?
1960.
Britannia's team news brought to you by WAB and Fortescue Health Treacle, making your war a just war. Your war headlines.
Have some of that, Jerry. Our boys drive the Bosch back another 4.5 feet.
They're done and dusted. How our brave Brits have got the Hun on the run.
And whistle while you Turk. How we're going to stick it to the Ottomans in Gallipoli.
Tonight in a special report, The Enemy at Home, Steam News takes a fair and balanced look at the so-called pacifists and the increasingly preposterous claims that in 100 years historians will look upon this just and patriotic war as a gigantic waste of human life in which millions died for nothing.
Yes, Mrs. Smith in Clapham, Mrs. Arkwright in Rochdale, Mrs. McDougall in Glasgow. Your husbands and sons are dying for nothing.
To discuss, as always, in an even-handed fashion, these disturbing, some might say treasonous views, we're joined now by retired Boer War commander and Steam News contributor, General Henry Kambula Massacre, Wright Jackson. Henry, nice to have you.
Always a pleasure to be by your side, Victoria.
Steady, officer.
I'm trying to steady her, Nick, but she's a tough little filly, this one. Tune in, Timbuktu. No, but seriously. This, if you like, questioning of the war could become a serious problem for our men and their morale.
Yes, just looking at the utterances of some of these Bolshevik bedlamites. One woman peace campaigner saying, just as you send your clothes to the laundry and mend them when they come back, so we send our men to the trenches. You send your socks again and again, and then you throw them away, and we send our men again and again, just until they are dead. I mean, General, just what message is this sending out to the British people?
Well, quite simply, Victoria, it says, Kaiser Bill, you're the white man.
And isn't the comparison between our brave boys and socks an odious one?
Absolutely, Nick. And a real insult to the British sock maker. Our hosiery industry is the envy of the world. And if these suffragettes spent as much time and energy mending their husbands' socks as they do organising demonstrations, our boys might already be knocking on the right start door.
Thanks, General. Insightful as always. We'll return after these financial endorsements.
They're watching Britannia's Team News. God save the King. Never shall be slaves.
What's the matter, Evangeline? Oh, it's my beau Rodney. He just doesn't seem to have that special something his chums have. I don't know what to do. Uh-oh, cowardice. I know what Rodney needs. Try this. Gosh, thanks.
2 months later.
Evangeline, you're smiling.
Oh, thanks to this, Rodney's joined his local pals regiment. He's going to France this weekend.
The white feather. Because deep down, you know he needs to grow a pair.
As long as they don't get shut off.
Eventually.
1970.
You're watching Britannia's Team News. Using the box to beat the Bosch.
We have in our broadcast telecommunication, hunger strikes and getting the vote. We speak to one suffragette who's fighting for her rights while still looking super.
And in our children's segment, Watch with Nanny, Auntie Polly has some very special guests who've come to talk to the youngsters in the studio. Yes, those madcap poets, Owen and Sassoon, are here to cheer us up with some more jolly verse from the trenches.
They're a couple of poltroons, those Your war news. Uncle Sam is in and Boris is out. That's right. The shock decision by Russia's new Bolshevik government to turn tail and run was surpassed by the even more shocking decision by the Americans to finally decide they wanted in. Live in St. Petrograd, as we must call it now, the State Secretary, Leon Trotsky.
Добрейшее.
And live in New York is flapper and good time party girl Dilys Boop. Good evening, Dilys.
Boopy-doo!
Dilys, if I may first turn to you, why do you think your nation, after much dilly-dallying and general flip-shoddery, has come to the party? Is it because you've realised that if you don't get in on the act soon, all the good booze will be gone and there'll only be the cheese and biscuits left?
Well, Victoria, despite President Wilson's valiant attempt at neutrality, the use of submarine warfare against U.S. commercial shipping, along with a threat against our interests in Central America, namely Mexico, has made it impossible for us to continue without some form of intervention. While not anticipating further escalation at this time, we remain concerned with the Germans' use and stockpiling of chemical weapons.
In other words, yes. Golly, Miss Dilys, have you been out back chugging the bourbon again?
Goodness, what will you do if they ever ban alcohol in your country?
Comrade Trotsky, your response.
To the Americans joining the war. Well, Nick, it's like we say in Odessa. If you don't give acorns to the squirrel, there'll be a hell of a reckoning when the black bread comes out of the oven. No, but seriously, good luck to them. Heavens, we in Russia have nothing against the United States. They, after all, gave us the idea of revolution in the first place. No, we love the Yanks. Seriously, Dilys, we love you guys.
Oh, gee, thanks, Leon. You're a doll.
You too, babushka. See you in Geneva for the talks?
Oh, you better believe it.
Goodness sake, you two. Make a hotel reservation.
Yes, I think those two will be bosom buddies for a long time. Coming up, a report on the so-called medical condition known as shell shock.
Can you believe this, Victoria? A few explosions, a few of our chaps apparently got a bit of tinnitus, the odd blinding headache, maybe some vomiting, the shakes, a tendency to burst into tears, and all of a sudden, it's a medical condition.
I get all of that during sexual intercourse. With my husband, of course.
Of course. God save the king, never shall be slaves.
1918.
You're watching Britannia Steam News, brought to you by R&G Mesh Corsets, helping Britain to stand up straight.
The latest from the front. The Battle of Amiens has so far yielded over 22,000 Allied casualties. The French army has mutinied and cholera is rife in both armies. But on the plus side, Field Marshal Haig has recovered from his sprained foot, so it's not all bad news.
What? No.
Later, we'll be hearing from some of those daring young men from the Royal Flying Corps.
Can't do this
Who'll be
anymore.
teaching us the real reason it's called a joystick.
Stop! Stop, please, stop! Haven't you listened yourself? 22,000 casualties, and that's comparatively minor in a battle we're supposed to have won. They're dead, all those young men.
Nicholas, have you gone rogue?
Dead! How long can this go on?
You're starting to sound like a cockchee.
But don't you see? Someone has to say something, has to do something. This isn't a war, this is a bloody sausage machine. When will this slaughter end, Victoria? When?
Actually, now.
What?
We're just getting word. The Germans have surrendered. The war's over and we won.
We won?
Yes.
In that case, forget everything I just said.
Of course, war isn't just about the victors. It's all about the losers, too. Live on the line is an ordinary German soldier. So, Fritz, how does it feel living with defeat?
I have to tell you, Victoria, not good.
But you can go home now. That must please you.
Home to what? A country shamed and dishonored? Broken? Crippled by debt? Utterly annihilated? Threatened now with the shadow of communism?
Surely you'll recover and become a democracy.
Democracy. I give it 15 years tops.
You think that's a rather negative point of view? Didn't you have a career or a trade before 1914?
I used to paint a little.
There you are then. I'm sorry we're running out of time. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Stuckelgruber.
Schickelgruber.
There's a name to conjure with.
I'd change that if I were you. That's about all we have time for.
So, there it is. On the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns fall silent. A great day for Britain. A great day for freedom. The threat of German expansionism is over. Make no mistake, because of this war. In Germany, a chance for a new start, a chance for democracy. Make no mistake, because of this war. Yes, there have been hardships, but the price has been completely worthwhile, particularly for us British. Our empire and dominions remain undamaged, and we are ready to act as a kindly yet firm grandfather over this emerging world to ensure that a war like this, a world war, can never happen again. Make no mistake, this truly has been a great war.
So great, in fact, that this steam cylinder recording of our coverage will soon be available in all good hardware shops. It's entitled Britannia Steam News, A Great War. Priced very reasonably at 1 shilling and 11 halfpenny. It's got all the highlights, with a few notable exceptions.
Thank goodness for that. I'm Nicholas Beaufort Thomas.
And I'm Victoria Smythe, for Britannia Steam News.
God save the King, never shall be slaves. Good
Good
night.
night.